Now wait,
Hi everybody. How are we doing?
All right.
How is it?
Hi,
It's
everybody.
a Wednesday. It's a good
It's
day.
A Wednesday. Good day.
We've done nothing exciting today. Today's been
nothing
a
happened.
very bland, boring day. We've not announced anything or done anything big. So, how are you guys? I'm having a great day. How are you, Scott?
He was being sarcastic. We announced the book. I'm great. I've never been better, actually.
We announced the
No.
book that you can go not buy, but you can
Sign up for.
It didn't do the thing. Nightbot didn't do the thing. I don't know why Nightbot didn't do the thing. Everything's falling apart. Ruined stream.
Kindred Heavens.
Anyway, yes, our book is now pre-launch page is up. It'll be coming out. Well, the campaign will be starting on July or June 21st. It's pretty neato.
That's true. Pretty pog.
Sheesh, you were some handsome lads. Thank you.
Yeah, I am. No, don't feed my ego anymore.
I don't know why Nightbot didn't do the thing. I'm really upset about this. Oh wait, I think I fixed it. Hold on. Let me cook. We'll talk about Kindred Heavens in a second, everybody. This is pressing to me. There we go. There we go. I fixed it. That's where you can. I thought the exclamation mark was by default for Nightbot. Apparently, you have to add that, or it doesn't do it. But yes, that's where you can go. It's not out yet. You can't do anything with it yet, but you can follow it so that the minute we go live, you can support it if you want.
Which would be good for us.
That would be good for us. This is our first. I mean, we've done the Panty Bear, but this is our first, like, real, like, it's not like a webcomic or anything. Just first time committed just to doing a physical book. It's very exciting.
Remember that other time that we did that, but
oh, that doesn't count. It's been a long time. The last time we did a just physical book Kickstarter was
2019.
Yeah, 4 years ago. How long has this been in the making?
Long time.
Long time. We started working. I'm assuming you don't care me talking about that.
I don't care.
We started working on Kindred Heavens in April or March of 2021. Back when it was just one book.
There's a lot of sirens.
Yeah, there's a lot of sirens outside right now. But yeah, like I said, like April, March of 2021, it's gone through many iterations. I was talking to Kolky about it earlier, and I sent him. I have a folder of all the scenes we've ever cut, and it's like 35 scenes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It has been through. I actually checked. I did the numbers. The once we got it to where we liked it, once we got the story to where it was actually like this is the book, it took us. We had 12 drafts. Did you know that, Scott? We had 12 drafts to get to the final book now, and that's not including the stuff that we changed while we were actually drawing the book. But it's also not including, like I think I mentioned, it was originally going to be one book, but it was going to be a very long book. And we eventually decided to make it 4 books and allow each book to like breathe and live. For one, that way, like I said, there's a lot of stuff we were going to have to cut because we were going to have to make the book a lot shorter than we wanted it to be. But 2, also, we would have been working on the same book for like 4 years without getting to actually show anyone anything. which was a really sad thought in our minds.
So now we're doing this so we can show it to you earlier and have a good time.
But yeah, that's part of the reason there were so many drafts, is because it took a lot of work to then take. And at first it was going to be 2 books, and then we decided to make it 4 books. And
originally, this Kickstarter was going to come out in like February.
That is true. It got
March.
delayed by a lot.
Yeah. Because we were linking up with Iconic, which is who's going to be fulfilling the book. So you don't have to worry about inexperienced people fulfilling books, because we got Iconic on it.
That is true. If you don't know who Iconic is, I'd say they're most known for Common America. And they are very well known for fulfilling things very quick, on time, not really ever having any problems. The big part of the reason we wanted to work with them, because the only thing we were really nervous about was fulfilling it.
But we got that under control now, and it should be a good time.
So the book is already made, just need to Kickstarter for printing and putting into book form and distribution. Yeah, the book's already done. It's fully drawn, fully colored, everything's good to go. Kickstarter is mostly just for the initial, just like getting it in people's hands. Also for merch and stuff like that.
After the Kickstarter, you can still buy it, but it'd be great if you bought it on Kickstarter.
It's another benefit to doing it with Iconic, is that you'll be able to buy it on Iconic Store.
True.
After it's done. We got this question on Twitter once or twice, and I responded once or twice on Twitter, but I'll say here, there will also be a digital version if you don't want the physical version. The digital version will be part of the page. If you buy any tier of the Kickstarter, you'll get the digital version, but the first tier, I think it's $5, is just the digital version.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool. Very excited.
But the physical copy will be awesome, so you want to buy that.
That is true.
It's gonna be that high quality shit, pal.
This will also be our first book that is in color. We've never done a color book. Because Artemis and the Panty Bear were both not in color.
Yeah, no, that one is true. I'll give you that one.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know.
A lot of work doing a full color book.
Yeah, there was actually one point pretty early on where Scott messaged me and was like, I just don't know if I can color a whole book. This might be
It wasn't even that early. I was like 30% of the way through the book, and I was like, maybe this was a mistake. Like, maybe we should do black and white instead. But then I was like, no, I'll do it. I just had to throw a fit for a day, basically.
Yeah, he had a day. It was a very un-Scott-like day where he was very, he was just like very beaten down about it.
But we got there, so.
Wait, so what other comics have you two done in the past? Any web ones? Yeah, we've released probably 2 comics. One is very old, and so we don't really promote it or talk about it too much, but that's The Great Witch Artemis. It's like 5 years old at this point.
I don't even know if you can still buy that one online.
Yeah, I don't know if you can still buy it anywhere, but that was the first ever Kickstarter campaign we did. It was like a 78-page little fun book. It's not the greatest. It's very amateur, is the biggest thing, because we were very young. You were 19, I think, at the time you drew it, and I was 20. So it's very old. And then The Panty Bear, which is what created Lucia and led to our careers, which you can buy, actually, at BrysonScott.store. But also, if you just want to read it, it is all on Webtoons.
As well as our website.
As well as our website, that is true. The website is just pantybear.com. Thepantybear.com. What's good, guys? What's really good? Everything. It's a good day. We're vibing. We're having a good time. Tricker said, what about Afterside? The reason we don't mention Afterside is because I don't write. Afterside's not a Scott and me comic. It's just a comic he does with our friend Julian. I edited it, yeah, but I don't have any like creative say in it aside from editing it. But yeah, it took 12 drafts to get here. A lot of cut scenes. There was actually a point, I remember this very vividly, where we'd been working on it for about 7 or 8 months, and we just hadn't gotten anywhere with it. Like the first 7 or 8 months of working on Kindred Heavens were very rough. It was a lot of the book that we were writing then is very different than the book that came out in a good way. But yeah, we had, because our initial plans for Kindred Heavens were huge in scope. Like it was like there were a lot of characters and they were all kind of the main character, and yeah, there was just a lot going on in it.
I would still say that it's pretty big in scope, but it's a lot more focused and it's a lot better.
Yeah, what I meant by big in scope specifically is like now it follows Isabel as the main character. That's what helped us get on track a lot, is we found the character that we really loved and we focused the whole book on her. Whereas before, every character kind of had like a big long spotlight, which is what I more meant by big in scope.
Just happy that the trailer's out there.
Yeah, we can show the trailer on stream if you want.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Here, let me get it pulled up. We'll show the trailer on stream. For anyone that's not seen it, the music in the trailer is done by our good friend Echo Saber. And the voice actor is Nicole Carino, right? Say their name? Yes. Who I don't think she has any socials or anything, but she did a very good job. But yeah, here, we'll play the trailer.
Here we are again with the whole world against us. All because we lost one lousy race. Cerberus, as usual, is claiming we've fallen off. And of course, the papers are believing every word of it. But you and I both know they're wrong. Pegasus isn't finished, not even close. Our family doesn't have a single quitter in it. Dad will work until his bones turn to dust. And Felix and Robin, they're the best pilots I've ever seen. I mean, who could possibly hope to match our crew? And don't worry, I'm not leaving myself out. I'm gonna build something truly amazing. Something that will blow Cerberus out of the water. Something that will shock the world. Something that would make you proud, Mom. Something even Dad couldn't build. Time to get to work.
And that's the trailer.
And it says spring 2023 because that was supposed to go up in February.
Yeah, we just didn't. Honestly, I forgot about it until
So did I.
Until we posted it. But yeah, that's the trailer for it. That trailer was surprisingly hard to make. It took a lot of back and forth. I'll actually say, Echo is probably the only reason we actually have a trailer. Because our original plan for the trailer was not very good. And we were struggling with it. And then Echo just was like, well, use music like this, and sent us that piano thing. And then we were like, well, can we just use this? And we were very inspired based off that music piece alone. So a big thank you to Echo.
Echo the goat.
So will Isabel be the main focus of all 4 books? Yes. Yes, it is. It's very firmly her story. She is the main character. There are a lot of other characters and a lot of other things happening, but she is the driving.
They all relate to her in some way. Yeah.
And that was what most of the drafts were about, was really honing that. One person that I'd like to actually thank a lot for with it is our agent, Jen Azantian. Did a lot of work helping us edit the book, and helping get it to a very good place. Specifically gave us a lot of guidance on marketing and selling the book. So big shout out to her.
Big shout out.
The GOAT. Sounds like writing was quite a challenge till you had that focus. That's how it always is. Sometimes you get that focus really early on in a book, and it's pretty easy. Sometimes like you have that from the very jump. Sometimes the hardest part about writing a book is finding that focus. So it really just depends.
It was a long journey. Now we get to work on book 2.
That is true. I'm working on book 2. That's what I was doing all day.
We will be working on that as we do the Kickstarter for book 1.
Yep. Yeah. Book 2 is every book is written. They all just need touched up and revision and stuff, because a lot of them were written when we were still going through whether we wanted it to be one book or like one big book or 2 books or however blah blah. So a lot of them need just work. Also, if Scott and I step away from a project for like more than 2 weeks, we come back wanting to change things about it. So we are perpetually fiddling with stuff. We were literally the whole book. We were still rewriting things as Scott was drawing them. Like we had a full finished script and we couldn't help but like change. I mean, even going as far as we changed entire scenes while you were drawing. We get our hands a little messy when we are making stuff.
We like to tinker. Nothing wrong with it.
If it isn't too much to ask, how did you guys end up with Iconic Comics? Through our good friend Tim.
Yeah, Tim got us in touch with the company, and everything just sort of went from there.
Yeah,
that's why it took a long time to, like I said, it was originally supposed to go in February, and we were just going to do it ourselves. And Tim got us in touch with Iconic, and then they were interested. They wanted to take it on. We were like, all right, cool. And that took a little bit to get hammered out, the agreements and everything. But we finally got it, and we're ready to launch.
Yeah, we've been good friends with Timothy Lim, the guy that draws and creates Common America, for a long time. Scott, you did a lot of commission work and stuff for him.
Yes,
in the early
many
days
years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the early days of Common America. And we've always really, really liked him, and he's also always been like very ardently supportive of us. Even before anybody really knew who we were, he was
been on stream before.
Yeah, he was on stream. He has always gushed about us, and any chance that he's gotten, he's tried to give us help. So we're very thankful to him. A lot of the book, obviously definitely the book being with Iconic, but just a lot of the book being where it is now is thanks to him. Yeah, and so I'm very excited to be working with them. It was one of those kind of things that we wanted to work with them for a long time. We kind of knew it was going to happen eventually. It was just kind of waiting for the right time, right opportunity.
One shot, one opportunity.
Yeah. Hi, Kolky. Bye, Kolky.
All right, damn, Kolky. Leaving already.
Silly Cam said, Scott, stop rewriting them. I'm drawing it right now. Actually, funnily enough, a lot of times when something gets rewritten, it's typically because Scott pushes for it to be rewritten, I feel like. Typically...
Yeah, well, a lot of what happens is, like, we'll go over it, like, we plot the story together, Bryce scripts it, and I have input in the scripting stage, obviously, but, like, there's a different level of, like, I sit down and I read the script that he wrote, and I read, you know, all these pages, like, you know, at the time when we were doing the whole book, it was like 400 pages of the book, and you know, because we hadn't broken it up into several books yet, and so like I'm sitting down and reading all this and stuff, and so like my feedback is a little different. And then when I'm actually like in the flow and I'm drawing, I think that's when a lot of the more specific rewrites come from, like being like, hey, let's change this line of dialogue, or let's change this panel. Like, it's really specific stuff at that stage. A lot of the bigger rewrites come, unless, I mean, sometimes there are bigger rewrites just sort of happening, but a lot of those come in the scripting stage.
Yeah, typically what'll happen is that, like, in the scripting stage, it's because Scott and I will make we do all the plotting together. So the plotting, the outlining, all that stuff we do together, and it's very like 50-50. And then he basically, like, once we're done the outline, he's just like, okay, write the book. So I just go and write the book. And typically that's where you get, like, most of the revisions there are just, like, pretty obvious. It's just like, yeah, this needs to be better, or this is this, or I was more picturing this. When we get to scripting, it's typically like we just have new ideas or different things. Typically, like, it can be really small stuff. Like, hey, we should add like a page here, or we should do this. Sometimes it'll be things like, hey, okay, these 20 pages are good, but could you rewrite them to be better? Because I have this idea. And so then we cut and we redo 20 pages, but it always makes the book better. We very seldomly, we've gotten pretty good about, we used to be really bad when we were younger about just making changes for the sake of making changes. But I feel like these days we're pretty good about not just doing that, like, just to do it.
See, a story is like a chessboard, right?
Jesus Christ.
And
here we go.
I just like my chess analogies.
Feline said, hi, I'm here. What are we talking about? Also, I'm recovering from the flu. I hope you feel better, Feline. Flu sucks. It's not good. We're talking about Kindred Heavens, our book.
KH.
Campaign launching July or June. I don't know why I keep wanting to say July. June 21st.
You're just the July boy.
I'm just the July boy. Cage, Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I really got to stop saying that. Multiple people have already said that. So I really got to stop saying Cage. Another indie dynamic duo of creators here. Thank you. I just like writing my silly little books.
I just hope that everyone likes it. I'll be really sad if everyone gets the book and they're like, wow, this sucks.
Fucking awful. I didn't know you guys actually couldn't make comics. That would be really upsetting. But yeah, very exciting. Been waiting a very long time to get to actually properly announce it and talk about it and stuff. And I'm sure we'll be talking about it plenty leading up to the Kickstarter and obviously during the Kickstarter. You guys will probably be sick of hearing about it after a while, but
too bad.
Is there anything else Kindred Heavens related you want to talk about before we move on to other things?
I don't know. We about got it all, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, I was always sold on the music and art, just have to see how the characters and writing can wow me as well. Well, there is a guy named Horace in it, and he's pretty beautiful. So I'm pretty sure the minute you encounter him, you'll be pretty wowed. The mechanics are the character, aside from like the main characters, the mechanics are the characters I'm most excited for people to see, because they are goofy little guys. Scott and I are really big fans of like blob characters. I don't know what else to call them, but like characters that all just share this like same energy. Like they're all different characters, but they all just have this kind of like the pirates or whatever you would call them from Laputa. Like they all just share that same energy. So when does the Kickstarter officially launch? June 21st. And it will run for 30 days.
And then you should have your books in August. But you'll get the digital copies before then.
Might also be something else happening in August.
There might also be something else happening in August.
Just have to wait and see. We got things on things on things on things. Important question: does Kindred Heavens have any bad bitches? Annabelle is kind of a bad bitch.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it is.
It's all ages. It is
all
ages,
ages
yes.
book.
But yeah. There's nothing. I don't even think there's a curse word in Kindred Heavens.
I think somebody says damn.
I
once.
probably say damn or hell. I do like saying hell a lot. And there's smoking and drinking. That's about as adult as it gets. But it's also set in the 1920s. And Scott and I were pretty steadfast that even if it was an all ages book, we're not going to set a book in the 1920s and not have people smoke and drink. Our brains can't handle that. I already felt the Studio Ghibli feel from the trailer, so fun and lighthearted in tone. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, until it's not.
Until it's not. But the first book's pretty fun. Except when it isn't. Shroom did read it. I don't know if I told you this. He read it already. He said it was very good. He really liked it. And then he said, fuck you, give me book 2. So he liked it. He's excited for book 2.
Well, that's all you can ask for.
What if Scott did a stream drawing on MS Paint? That's kind of like what it used to be like when you would draw with your left hand. For like the stream rewards. It had some pretty big MS Paint energy.
I need to think of a logo for like the baseball cap, and I don't know what it should be.
I don't know. Just draw
Thoughts?
something.
Suggestion. Just draw something, he says.
Yeah. Just draw Baba from Artemis. He's been on my mind a lot lately. A crab? I feel like that's the easy answer, though.
Yeah, I want to draw something kind of deranged.
Kind of deranged.
But I don't know what that could be.
Ellie De La Cruz murdering a pitch high in the zone.
4 feet off the ground.
112 miles an hour?
Yes.
The GOAT.
We watched that live.
Well, not like in person.
No, but well, you know.
Well, what it is the thing about it is, Levy Toby said, I brought one of those art gloves because my tablet has gotten pretty messed up.
They're handy. They're handy.
They go on your hand.
Shut up. I make sure to replace it ever so often. Otherwise, they get smelly.
I used to wear one of those when I would write. Yeah, when I would handwrite, because I'm a lefty.
Oh.
And so I get ink all over my hand. And so I would wear one so I wouldn't get ink on it. And I tore a hole in it. And then it kind of defeated the whole purpose. And I never bought another one. Now I just accept that I'm going to have ink on my hand at the end of a workday.
Okay.
You know what's a big concern I have with writing all my first drafts, like longhand? I just feel like it's going to be a very me thing that like they're all like my books are all going to get like blown away in a tornado or something. I've thought a lot about this. Like I'm
I think if that happens, you're gonna have bigger concerns.
I don't know. I've written some real masterpieces in these books that just haven't been worked out yet, you know?
Yeah.
Still saving up channel points for when the rewards make a comeback. Well, everyone will be millionaires by the time that they make a comeback.
Yeah, it's gonna come back. There's gonna be one reward. It's $1 million, and it's just you get rid of your channel points.
You know, we should do that, like a channel point dump.
Yeah, just the dump. Yeah.
I have like 33,000.
I wonder who has the most. I think Ingo had the most for a long time.
Well,
But I don't know if he still does.
For me, it says I have infinite. I wonder why.
Strange.
Ingo probably does have. I don't know. Ingo's been missing them Wednesday streams.
Yeah, he's a fake fan.
He's been out there rock climbing. How about media share type thing or a make sound happen type? We've thought about stuff like that because we know this kind of thing, but like stuff like that, like it's Scott wouldn't be able to hear him, which is one problem.
That is true.
So it kind of would lose some of its effect. Also, if I'm being honest, him and I just don't like stuff like that. I don't know. That's where I say like we're not very twitchy. Like we don't like a lot of stuff that like this is like just sort of standard Twitch stuff. Scrub said I did some climbing today, but it wasn't rock climbing. Well, what else did you climb? What are there to climb
Corporate ladder.
Besides
He's a CEO now.
Did you climb a rope? You know, last time we were at the rock climbing gym, we watched a man just take a ladder and just climb to the top of one of the walls. That was fucked up. He was fixing the wall, for the record, but it was still fucked up. I did climbing training with work. We climbed antenna towers. You'd probably be really good at rock climbing, Scrub.
So I take it you don't have a fear of heights.
I was gonna say, especially if you don't have a fear of heights. That's the hardest thing to get over with rock climbing.
I wouldn't say that's the hardest thing to get over. Because I think I think a lot of people just don't have it.
That's fair.
Like me, unless it's an autoplay.
I was gonna say, you do have it with autoplay. I don't have a fear of heights, but the fear of falling.
Valid.
I wouldn't say I have too much of a fear of heights, but sometimes with autoplay, like you get really high up, and like there's just a weird feeling about knowing that you literally just have a harness keeping you from death. Like,
it was weird because I didn't have any qualms about it at all. And then we actually did it for a while. And then like it was like 2 or 3 weeks later, I was like about halfway up this wall and I just stopped and I looked around and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm so high up right now. And that's when it hit me.
Yeah, and I had sort of the opposite thing where like I had it really bad and then I kind of got over it. And now I've gotten a lot worse with it, I feel like. And now I don't really have much interest in it at all. Like now I'm just fine with bouldering.
I think we also got a little better at bouldering around that time, so.
Well, auto belay is kind of like 4 bouldering courses in 1, 4 or 5, so it kind of just makes you better at climbing in general. It's also a lot harder because of that, because you get tired a lot quicker from auto belay, because you don't realize how much you're climbing. Correction, it was a radio tower. Shout out the radio towers. That sounds pretty tight, I can't lie. Yeah, if we ever brought channel points back, I have no idea what we'd do for them. Which makes me feel like we're probably not going to ever bring them back.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't.
But if we ever thought of something cool, maybe.
The problem is our definition of cool does not line up with most Twitch definitions of cool.
Yeah, because we're cool fucking guys.
We're real content creators. Only true visionary artists can draw a crab hat logo.
So you just gave up.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make it cool.
He's gonna be like a crab with a gun.
No. He's just gonna be like a really cool crab.
I see.
It'll make sense when we get there.
Let you cook?
Let me cook.
Well, what are you doing for dinner tonight, Scott? We ask that every stream. I feel like it's just part of the stream at this point.
I'm cooking spaghetti, which is short for spaghetti.
Spaghetti's pretty good.
I have a feeling you're not cooking because you talked about how much you didn't want to cook for about 15 minutes before stream.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna cook. Just because I said I don't want to. Actually, Amy's probably gonna cook dinner tonight. But sometimes you just want like junk food. I don't know. You've kind of tainted me with that. I didn't used to be that way.
See, he blames me for all his problems. That's unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
Can you believe that?
So what makes this crab cool?
Well, look, he's got shine. I like a spark.
He's got shine. I like his spark. I thought you were gonna give him like sunglasses or a gun, or make him a gun.
Crabs don't wear sunglasses or hold guns very often.
That was what would make it cool. Oh, I get it. It's like a moonshot reference.
Huh?
Because it's a moon. It looks kind of like a moon. And it's a baseball, like a moonshot, like a home run.
Oh yeah. No.
I was trying to provide some context to make it seem like you planned that out.
No. That was definitely intentional.
That was always the plan.
That was always the plan.
Now you're really committing to it.
Yeah, watch this.
But now you're kind of spelling it out for people.
Oh yeah, people are stupid.
Wow, Jesus Christ. Did you know that most crabs don't use guns? That seems kind of like a fake fact.
Liberal bullshit.
I feel like most crabs I've met have used guns. Have you ever seen a live crab? Not like in like a store. I just mean like out walking around.
Yes.
I was just curious. I don't know. I didn't know if crabs were very common here. You don't really like have like beaches or anything.
I'm not here, but I don't know if I've ever seen one here, but I've been to the beach before.
This man's seen a crab. Yes, but have you ever seen a blue crab?
No.
You get scammed.
Have you?
Yeah. I'm from Maryland.
Yeah.
That's like our gimmick. It's literally the state animal. Or, I don't know if the correct word is animal. I guess crabs are an animal. I don't know.
They're crustaceans.
Crustacean. The crab is getting cooler as you add the logo.
Look, see? This is it.
I'm really curious about what your plan to make it cool was before I told you that it looks like a moon.
Well, don't worry about that.
I feel like you actually didn't have a plan to make it cool. I'm not trying to accuse you of things.
I feel pretty accused. I don't know. I was just going to wing it. And I did. And it worked out.
Sometimes just winging it just works. You should give her an ad on the side of her jersey. Like how the Reds have the giant Kroger ad on their jersey.
Yeah, I'll give her a Kroger ad.
I never said give her a Kroger ad. I just said give her an ad. Give her an ad for your Twitter.
I wonder how much it is to sponsor an MLB team. I think the Kroger sponsorship was about $6 million.
Is that true, or did you just make that up?
I think that's true. I read that. I don't know if it's true, but I read it. I don't think that they would lie about it.
MLB sponsor patches. I'm digging into this. Hold on. I found a list of every sponsor patch because only a few teams have them.
Well, does it have the...
Well, I'm not there yet. Hold on. The Diamondbacks have an Avnet sponsorship. I don't know what that is.
Fuck is Avnet?
I don't know. It is a global technology distributor and solutions provider, according to this article. Boston has Mass Mutual. Reds have Kroger. The Astros have Oxy? Oxy. Unfortunate name for that brand. And then the Angels have FBM, which stands for Foundation Building Material. And then the Padres have Motorola.
I have seen the gargantuan Motorola ad on the Padres jerseys, yes.
And that's it. That's all the teams that have sponsors on their jerseys. You kind of think it'd be more. I'm pretty glad my team doesn't.
When is that from? Because I think some have added them throughout the season.
That's from February.
Oh, yeah. Some other teams have added them.
Well,
I know the Red Sox have them.
Well, I just said the Red Sox is one of them. So
St. Louis added them.
here's another list. The Mets have one now. It's New York. Presbyterian. Marlins have an ADT one. God, I can't find any list that's from like last week, so. I also can't find a thing about how much these cost. It's suggested that these sponsors could generate 11 million brand value per team. I did find that. I'm trying to find if I can find any. The Padres one costs $9 million for 4 years. The Red Sox one is 10 years at $17 million. It's only a few million a year.
You're right. We should get one.
Think of the reach. I feel like if we got some partners, we put a few million into being on someone's jersey. I feel like there's potential there. Because
Elon Musk, get him on the phone.
It doesn't matter how much debt you go in if you're only thinking about how much money you could make off of something. That's kind of what I've told myself. I'm in debt now for the first time in my life.
That's true.
A lot of it, actually, because I bought a car.
You're gonna go to debtor's prison.
Oh, that's
if you don't pay it back.
Yeah, but I think I'm okay. Well, unless the IRS keeps calling. Did you ever look into that one thing, by the way?
No, you didn't remind me.
I forgot till right now.
I forgot until we started stream, and then I was like, oh.
Well, it's okay. Well, what are they gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, nothing. That couldn't possibly lead to anything bad.
They'll just send us another letter, and they'll just be like more upset with us. It's okay. Well, how's everyone doing? How are you guys? It's Wednesday. It's firmly in the middle of the week. Typically, you have a pretty good idea how your week's been. Is everyone having a good week? Today is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's Wednesday. It's firmly in the middle of the week. Everyone has a pretty good idea of how their week's been. How's everyone's week been? I've had a pretty good week. What about you, Scott?
I've been all right. Pretty good. I can't complain.
No. For content, you have to say that you had a really
well.
good week.
Let me rant. Oh, good week.
Yeah, you have to just like pretend, or you have to rant. You can't be like firmly in the middle. You have to be like on a strong side.
But earlier you were telling me I could just be in the middle.
What were you gonna say? You were gonna rant about something?
Oh, I was just gonna think of something on the spot.
Well, do it. Go ahead.
So Ellie De La Cruz.
You can't rant about something that nobody cares about.
Well, I don't know. What do you want me to rant about?
I
can't. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about
And that's why our content's dead.
anything controversial.
Everyone comes for the Scott Mallon politics show.
I told you I'm running for mayor.
State of emergency.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. When we get bored of streaming, we'll just turn it into like a political talk show.
Mm. Yeah.
We'll
yeah.
get who's that one guy?
Bryson Scott and their thoughts. That'll be our stream. Our name.
That's for when we have the Amy's on.
Oh Jesus Christ. play scare the host. So were you inspired to do this baseball outfit because of Ellie De La Cruz debuting? Debuting?
Debuting?
I can't speak today.
Apparently not. I don't know if I was. I was just in the mood to do it this morning.
Wow.
And I think maybe it's subconsciously related.
Let's get into your subconscious here on stream real quick. Let's start digging into
Yeah. Therapy sessions.
We talk about that dream where I just endlessly had to pee.
Talk about that dream where my Amy drove you somewhere.
That is true. I did have a nightmare where Scott's Amy had to drive me somewhere. That's not saying anything about her driving.
I think it is.
It's just I've been in the car with her once while she was driving, and it was an experience. But that's not saying anything about her driving. I've heard that other people are worse. That is what my Amy said about it.
That was the nicest thing she could muster.
Which I think your Amy's gonna be so pissed if she's listening right now.
No, she has a busy day at work today.
Oh, okay, we're good. Yeah, I don't remember any of the dream except that she was driving and there was a lot of start stop. Vroom, vroom. I hate nightmares, but because for me it's a spoiler, I'll have a bad day. I have a weird thing with nightmares where this is gonna sound really depressing for a second, but I promise you I don't care that much. I have like a lot of nightmares, and so they don't really actually bother me too much anymore. I feel like most of the time my nightmares are kind of funny. Like I kind of get like stories like like they're really traumatic and bad in the moment, but then I laugh about it when I wake up. I don't know. Maybe it is a me thing. Maybe I'm just coping, but
I'll have sad dreams. I don't really have nightmares. I'll just have like a dream where like a deceased relative is alive and I'll talk to them, and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh, never mind. Those are my nightmares. It's not like anything crazy happens or anything super like scarring or anything. It's just like sad. It's just like there's a moment when I wake up and I'm just like, oh.
Mine are so weird that like they're just funny to talk about. I feel like I don't know. Anytime I have a dream, it's like a nightmare. Like it's really absurd shit. Yeah, I don't really have like sad dreams like that though. Have you guys ever received any fan arts that downright weirded you out, or at worst you hated?
No,
I don't think
but
so.
don't take that as an invitation or a challenge.
The only thing I would say that would make us like hate something if it was like something like offensive or like, you know, like something in that kind of realm. But I don't think we've ever received anything like that. At least
No,
I don't recall
think
seeing
of.
anything like that. So I'd say no. I still get excited anytime anyone does fan art.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything I would have hated.
We probably, if it was like something like that, like something like bothered us or we hated, we probably just wouldn't have ever thought about it again. So, like, we probably wouldn't have brought it up. Probably would have been like the Adam Driver movie that I forgot existed.
Do you remember the title?
65.
There you go.
Because it was 65 million years ago, right? That's what it is.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
No.
No, I wasn't. I can't even try and pretend it was. But Adam Driver was in it.
I just don't remember a movie that I've watched recently that made me feel or think less than that movie did. Like, it was just such a nothing burger of a film.
It was the least offensive in a good or negative way movie that you have ever seen. Like, it's
like, I've gone to watch some horror movies recently that have sucked. Like, I watched one that was like a World War I movie where everyone was trapped in a bunker. That movie really sucked. But like, I was pretty mad when I watched it because I was like, wow, this movie sucks. But the Adam Driver movie, I just didn't feel anything about it.
It just didn't make you feel like you were Adam Driver.
I went home and like I went to sleep and I don't know. It's just like, okay, I'm glad that's over, I guess.
It was one of the few movies normally we all go see a movie. Like on the walk out and the car ride home, we spend the whole time talking about the movie and shit. I just remember us all just like getting in the car and just like being silent the whole time. Have you ever walked out of a movie and gotten a refund? No.
No, I've not. The only time I've ever asked for or almost asked for a refund, or at least the one I could remember off top for something like that, is I bought an audiobook that was part of a series of audiobooks on Teddy Roosevelt. And the first book was narrated by Mark Deakins, and it was awesome. And the second book was narrated by this other dude, and this guy sucked. He was so bad that if it wasn't part of a series, I would have requested a refund, because like it was even like the quality of the recording was bad. Like the audio quality was bad. You could hear like his TV in the background while he was recording. Like it was completely absurd.
I actually remember, like, didn't you tell me that there were like retakes done in the middle? Like he would say a line and then he would like re-say it like a few times.
Yeah, he had read a whole paragraph. He had like, you know, and then Teddy Roosevelt walked to the grocery store and he got shot in the chest or whatever. He'd read the whole thing, and then he'd just like pause, and then he'd go, and then Teddy Roosevelt walked to the store and he got shot. Like, he'd just repeat the whole shit. I couldn't believe it. I don't know. I mean, that was probably more his editor than anything, that specific one. But like, it was just so low quality for an Audible book that I could barely believe it.
And then didn't you say the original guy was back for the third one?
Yeah, Mark Deakins was back for the third one. I was like, awesome. He was great. He does like something with the TV show Supernatural, I think. So like he's kind of like I guess like a niche internet celebrity. Like some people, like he has a fan club out there.
Strange.
I don't know anything about him.
I'm gonna look him up.
But he can sure read an audiobook.
Mark Deacon?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. You better not be wrong. I got nothing. That must not be his name. Cringe.
It was I'll look on Audible.
But yeah, I've never walked out. I don't even know if I've ever actually just walked out of a movie.
I almost did once because I bought every now and then Regal will do this thing where it's like, hey, come watch this surprise movie. Like, we won't tell you what it is. It's a new movie. Buy a ticket, come watch it. And I did that one time, and it was this Zac Efron movie. And it was like a war movie.
It's like the beer run or something.
Yeah, like World's Greatest Beer Run. My God, this was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. I almost left like 10 minutes into the movie, and then Russell Crowe was there, and he was old and fat, and he was not very good in the movie. But I was like, I'm gonna stay out of respect for Russell Crowe.
Didn't you say other people left the movie though? I feel like I remember telling me that.
Yeah, no, a lot of people walked out of the movie. It was really, really bad. Especially because like we didn't know, because it was like one of the first times they had done that, that like surprise movie or mystery movie thing, and
I remember you thought it was going to be Amsterdam.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be Amsterdam, and it ended up being this fucking Zac Efron film, and it was like a Monday, you know, so like I wasn't even going to get home until late, and it was during the week and stuff. It was really bad.
Well, hey, at least you got a memory out of it.
Am I glad I stayed? No, not really. I don't think I gained anything by staying.
You gained the right to bitch more, I think. Because now you can confirm that in the last 10 minutes it doesn't become like a masterpiece.
Boy, it sure didn't. It had, I don't know, man. It was just really funny. It's just Zac Efron in a war movie. Like, that's all I can say about it. If that, however absurd that sounds to you, it's that absurd. He's like trying to do like a serious scene and stuff. He's crying. It's just bad.
So you would say that you wouldn't recommend it? Would you?
No.
If their only choice is that or 65 with Adam Driver, would you recommend the 65 over that?
I probably would.
Scott
honestly.
recommends you go watch 65. Everybody, you heard it here first.
Yeah, bad film. Bad film. Was upset that I saw it. I didn't even pay money to see it because of the Regal Unlimited. I was still upset. I still wanted a refund.
I thought you did because I thought you had to pay money for the early preview thing.
No, I don't think so.
I thought it was like you had to pay like $5.
I don't know. There might be like a small.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure you have to pay $5 for that, so I'm pretty sure you did pay money for it.
Well, shut up. How about that?
Would you say it does not live up to High School Musical? Well, High School Musical slaps, so no, it doesn't. Bet on it. There was this time in my life where me and Scott and I have a close friend from when we were younger. Me and this guy, we were for some reason, like it was like a meme between us, like the song Bet on It. And we like knew all the words to it and we would just like randomly bust it out. And it got pretty obnoxious, like how often we were singing Bet on It in groups of people. So every time I hear Bet on It or even hear Zac Efron's name, I just think about that. I've not talked to him in a long time. I wonder if he still remembers all the words to Bet on It, because I do not. It goes hard though. When Troy Bolton's feeling that emotion, you're feeling that emotion too.
Is that really his last name?
Dude, he's fucking Troy Bolton. What do you mean? What do you mean is that his last name? Have you never seen High School Musical?
Why do you remember that?
Because
I had
I've
to watch
seen
it in
all
school.
3 High School Musical movies. What the fuck do you mean? Why do I remember that? Excuse me? I bet you don't know that Bet on It is from the second High School Musical movie. And it's when
right.
Troy and Gabriella are fighting. And so Troy goes out in the middle of the golf course on their summer vacation and he angrily runs around the golf course and sings Bet on It to get out his frustrations because he thought their summer vacation was going to be better than it was. But instead, they've been stuck working and everyone's really upset because they just want to relax. At one point, they sing a song called Work It Out where they try and work it out, but they're actually working in the kitchen. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, yes, I don't actually know if I've seen the third High School Musical movie, but I've seen the first 2 a lot. You know, Zac Efron does not sing in the first movie.
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, it's a different guy because like Zac Efron like couldn't sing or was afraid of singing. I don't know. There was like some reason, but yeah, he doesn't sing. I think there's like one song that he sings in the first movie, And nobody knew that it wasn't actually him singing until they did like a High School Musical on tour thing. And so they were like, shit. And so they had the guy, like they had to have the guy that actually sung for Troy Bolton, like go on tour instead of Zac Efron. And then for the second and third movie, he sung. So there's some lore for you. I think he sings like the opening 2 lines of the first song of the movie, and that's it. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it's something really absurd like that.
Can't believe Zac Efron would do this to us.
Oh, don't worry, he learned how to sing. And you know, now they have High School Musical, the series. Which is just a funny name to say.
Is that true?
That is the name of the series. It's called High School Musical, the series.
That seems a little redundant, I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty stupid. But it's already spawned famous people, so I guess it worked. Well, now that I've educated everyone on High School Musical, I feel like this has been a productive stream.
I can certainly say I've heard things I did not know before. Whether or not I will retain any of that information, it's dubious.
Well, you don't need to, because I've retained it for you. So if you ever go, like, I want to know a little bit about Troy Bolton, I'll be like, let me tell you about the Wildcats superstar, Troy Bolton. And now he wants to play basketball, but he also wants to sing. But you can't do that in high school, because that's wrong. That's fucking illegal, kid.
That's fucking illegal.
I watched the second High School Musical when it aired on TV. Like, I watched it live. With my sister, actually. That's the kind of kid I was when I was like 9 years old.
High School Musical kid?
High School Musical kid. But, you know, I didn't sing in school because, as the movie taught me, that's not cool.
You couldn't do it and play all that basketball you played.
Yeah. It would have really fucked. It really would have fucked with the status quo. And, you know, Troy Bolton can do it, but I'm not Zac Efron. I know that might be hard to believe.
I can take pride in knowing I've never made anything as disappointing as the fucking Greatest Beer Run movie that he made.
It's fair. Yeah, I've honestly never even heard of that movie except when you've mentioned it. So
I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't. It's like an Apple TV movie, I think, because I think that it like. I remember people speculating before the showing, like, "What? I wonder what movie it's gonna be," you know, and they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be Amsterdam. It's gonna be like this. Gonna be that." Nobody predicted that. I was so confused when it came on.
It has a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Too high.
Far from intoxicating, The Greatest Beer Run Ever reduces its fun, fact-based story to a flat, flavorless brew.
I feel like half of the credentials for writing movie reviews is just being able to make stupid puns about the title.
Vietnam veteran John Kerry wrote an op-ed for the Boston Globe in support of the film. In the op-ed, which was published on September 22nd, 2022, he wrote, "For those of us of the Vietnam generation, the film is a poignant reminder that whatever we did in that time and whatever our political perspective, how we experience Vietnam is inextricably intertwined with who we experienced it with." Did you take away anything that poignant from the movie?
I took away Zac Efron's a bad actor.
Okay, but you've not seen him as Troy Bolton, so we do have to acknowledge that.
I think I watched at least one of them in school.
And then he went on to be in Hairspray. Would you know where Hairspray takes place?
No.
Baltimore. It's one of those Baltimore movies. Takes place in 1950s Baltimore. It's an old movie, you see, that wasn't a musical, and then they remade it as a musical. Opening song of the movie is called Good Morning Baltimore.
Yeah, sing it for us.
Well, I can't sing and play basketball. We've been over this. I can't.
Oh, right.
It's you know, when I'm out there on the court, I can't be singing.
I have watched you try to play basketball.
I've watched you try and play basketball. We're both not good at it.
True.
Like, you can't even say that like you're good at it. We are both utterly awful at basketball.
Now, baseball, I can hold my own.
Basketball, we were so bad, we left the court after like 10 minutes because we were kind of ashamed.
I didn't think we'd be good, but we were definitely far below even my expectations.
It didn't help that there was a dude next to us that was just by himself with his headphones, just like hitting 3-pointers like nobody's business.
Well, he would do this weird thing where he would make like he would do 2 shots and he'd make both of them, and then you just go sit down.
It was almost like he was like recharging, and he wouldn't like
he would do that a lot.
It wouldn't be like he was like missing any or messing up. He would just take his 2 shots, make both of them, and then just sit down and just like sit there calmly, and then just get up and do it again. It was very strange. And then his friend showed up, and then they played basketball together. And, you know, they didn't sing. Don't worry. But now, I will say, though, it is okay, because spoilers, at the end of High School Musical, Troy's dad sees him singing with Gabriella, and he goes, you know what? It's okay to sing if you're in love. And so he lets his son sing and play basketball.
But does his dad join in the singing at the end?
No, his dad walks into the auditorium and it's just like, nice. Basically. Like, he's just kind of like, that's cool.
This is the perfect shitty minor league logo.
It really is.
I could see a single A team with this logo exactly. Same font with like the moon in the background for some reason. I absolutely could see that.
And the crab, the biggest thing about the minor league logos is the thing that doesn't make any sense. Like, the crab being there is actually perfect. Wow, were you saying Lucio would be on a minor league team?
At least at first.
Any chance for the strip game to make a comeback? How about other similar audience interaction things?
I mean, there's always a chance. Never say never. We're pro wrestling fans, so, you know... Anything
can be done.
Anything can be done.
The Big Show can always become a heel again.
You know, so we really... We have no shame in that sense. But, I don't know. It's possible. I guess it... I mean, does it still work? Like, I've heard people say that, but...
I would say you'll probably definitely do some kind of audience interaction thing. Again.
Yeah, I got some ideas cooking. I'm cooking, you know. Got other stuff going on right now, though, so...
Hey, you're back with the milk. What up? Oh, this is really funny. What I'm sure is that Scott wanted to leave before the movie kept going. Well, you could have. You chose to stay for the whole movie.
True.
Do you remember more of that than the Adam Driver movie?
Well, the problem is that nothing happened in the Adam Driver movie.
That is true.
Like, the movie was just 2 hours.
He got stuck in a cave. Remember, he had to take his shirt off? They got the Adam Driver takes his shirt off moment.
The whole movie was just like Adam Driver has like dinosaurs are there, and like that's like the whole. And then like this artistic shot of Adam Driver on a beach that looks like it was done by a 14-year-old with a green screen, and they just show it a lot.
They do.
And then like he would run, and there's a kid with him, so of course like the kid gets in trouble. Adam Driver has to go save the kid, and like they're back together, and they're like, okay, come on, we gotta go. And then the kid gets in trouble again, and he's like, oh, I gotta go save the kid. And then he
Listen, let me
does,
tell you how
and then-
bad this movie is. The movie made dinosaurs boring. You gotta really fuck up to make dinosaurs boring.
I remember when the movie was coming out, some people were like, this might do gangbusters in the theaters because this is the first, non-Jurassic Park dinosaur movie in a long time. And like, so it's going to actually do really well. It didn't. It lost a lot of money. And I think Adam Driver is like, okay as an actor.
People
Not
that
in this
like
movie.
him, though, dude, people that like him think he's the second coming.
In this movie, this guy sucked.
Yeah, he's really bad in the movie. I don't
And
know
it's
if
not like a John Wick movie where you can be a bad actor and still like kind of be good for the role. It just sucked.
Yeah, it was bad. But he did take his shirt off. He did do that.
I don't even remember that.
I actually don't remember. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I just made that up.
I think you might have made that up.
I feel like I've decided he did. And so he did. And then he sung and he didn't play basketball.
Because you can't do that.
You can't do both. Now, Corbin Bleu from High School Musical fame would later go on to be in a movie all about jump roping. That I forget the name of. I feel like it was called Step Up, but I could just be making this up. But I know that it was a movie about jump roping.
I miss when they just made movies about things.
That's fair.
Like they were like, back when it used to be like, oh, we need to make a movie. What do we make a movie about? And they're like, oh, what's a thing? And they're like, oh, jump roping. It's like, okay, got it.
Well,
Go,
especially
go, go,
those
go.
those old Disney Channel movies and shit, like where they just really needed something. Okay, Step Up was not the movie I was thinking of. This is a movie with Channing Tatum.
Okay.
That was not what I was thinking of. So hold on. Now I need to find this Corbin Bleu movie about jump roping, or it's gonna drive me insane.
Magic Mike?
No, what? I searched Cordon Bleu. That's not Corbin Bleu. Jump In is the name of the movie I was thinking of.
I was gonna say Step Up doesn't sound like a real.
No, it's Jump In. It revolves around young boxer Izzy Daniels, who trains to follow in his father's footsteps by winning a Golden Glove. When his friend Mary asks him to substitute for a team member in a double Dutch tournament, Izzy discovers his new love for the sport. At the same time, he discovers true love, but has a conflict with his father about boxing. Apparently, yeah, double jump is the form of jump rope. So kind of it's like High School Musical, but you can't box and jump rope.
I was gonna say it just sounds like the same movie.
Is the theme of the movie. So Step Up is a movie too about cheerleading. Speaking of movies, have you guys watched any Don Bluth animated films? I've seen one. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. Anastasia? Is that what it's called? Amy made me watch it. I think that's it is a Don Bluth movie. Anastasia? Yeah. I thought it was fine. I liked it. I didn't think it
Isn't
was...
that the guy who's like knockoff Disney or something? Or like he was Disney? And then he wasn't.
I don't know. I just know. I know he made. Oh, I've also seen. Okay, I didn't know he made. I've seen. Okay, I've actually apparently seen a lot of Don Bluth movies. I've seen An American Tail. I've seen All Dogs Go to Heaven. I've seen Titan AE. I've seen The Land Before Time. I didn't know he made all of those things. I've seen all of those things. An American Tail was one of my favorite movies growing up. So, yeah, I guess I have seen a bunch of them.
Turns out you're a big Bluther.
Titan AE is weird because I remember really loving that movie as a kid, but I honestly, it's one of those movies that I feel like was a fever dream that I made up. Like, I don't know. I've never actually heard anyone else speak about it until I just looked it up here. So I don't know. That took me back. I remember my family had a VHS of it. And so I would watch it a lot. I've never seen Secret of Nim. Don Bluth was a madman that said, "Screw you, Disney. I'm gonna make my own studio," and he did it. That sounds about right.
Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
Are we playing Gartic Phone someday? Probably not.
I feel like that ended. That phase is gone.
Well, what really happened is we had this phase where it was really popular, and we had a lot of people ask us to play it on stream. Specifically, one Ingo Dongo. And the thing about me and Scott is we hate being told or asked to do things. And so it only fueled us to never want to do it. And so here we are, never having done it. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
But it's true.
It's a thing. Have
There's
you ever
one thing about us, it's that we won't.
Have you ever in any of your drawings given Lucia a tattoo?
You know what's weird? I was thinking about that earlier while working on this drawing.
I don't know why I thought of it right then. I was just the moonshots thing for some reason.
I've not, but I kind of wanted to. I almost stopped this drawing to draw her with the tattoo.
Where would you put a tattoo on her?
Did I do like a whole big thing?
You give her like a whole sleeve.
Yeah, no, like whole body, like completely, like head.
But
to
like
toe.
Yakuza tattoo, like a full back tattoo.
Yeah. That's what I would do. Me personally.
What would you say is your art inspiration? I get heavy trigger vibes and I love it.
It depends on the day. I mean, I think, I have a lot of inspirations. Very inspired guy. And I like it at first, I was really into like Studio Trigger. Actually, at first I was really into Naruto. And then I was super into Studio Trigger. And then I was super into like Akira Toriyama. And then I was super into I don't even know, or I remember I had like a few weeks where I was super interested in Vargai. And it's bounced around a lot, and that's sort of what an art style is at the end of the day, is just like you get interested in a lot of stuff and you just sort of take from each thing what you like, and whatever you come up with, it's the culmination of everything you like, and that's your style. And that's sort of, so the answer is a lot of stuff, but those were the main phases I went through.
You guys watched the Mario movie? Yes. Bad.
No, Bryce, no. They're
What?
gonna be upset.
I don't care. They can like it. I'm happy for people that like the Mario movie. I think that's swell.
But Bryce, you wanted to like the Mario movie. You were excited.
I did. I wore my Mario shirt to the Mario movie.
You did wear a Mario shirt to the Mario
My
movie.
Amy also wore a Mario shirt to the movie. Was Spider-Verse the Mario movie but good? Spider-Verse was awesome. It's not even, they don't even deserve to be mentioned in the same breath.
Hey, I was gonna say they're nothing alike.
Spider-Verse.
The Mario movie was just an endless parade of references And it was like a movie made to train seals to clap. Is like the only way.
There's
I can
actually
describe it.
a YMS video about it that really describes my feelings on it. Where he's like responding to people that gave him shit for shitting on the movie. So I would just say go watch that.
Yeah, I mean it's literally it's like a movie that's just it only exists so that people can look at it and like whenever something comes on the screen that they know, they can just like clap and laugh. That's like the whole point of the movie. Like, oh look, they're on Rainbow Road. Oh look, it's Donkey Kong. Oh look, it's 2 seconds of the rap, and then like the rest of it, there's no substance. Like it's all references, and then the rest of it is just like for some reason they have like shitty 70s music.
Yeah, I don't. It's one of those kind of things. If that's what you wanted out of the movie, then you got it. That's great. If you just want to like be excited about like Mario being on screen and stuff, if your only criteria for the movie is that Mario is in it, and you're just gonna go clap and be happy that Mario's in the movie, like great, you got your film. You know, that's the movie. Yeah,
But if you wanted a film, no.
Yeah, not a fan of it. But I feel like the Mario movies generally been pretty divisive because people can't accept that, like, you know, if you I don't know. I don't think there's any problem with liking the movie the way it is, but I hate being told that I don't like that me not liking the movie is me not getting it. Because like I get what they were trying to do, I just didn't like it. Like I really hate that rationale, and I've dealt with that a lot with people with the Mario movies saying like, you don't get it, you don't get what it's supposed to be, and it's like, no, I do. It's really surface level. I really understand what it's trying to do.
But Bryce, it's a children's movie. You can't. They can do anything they want. It doesn't matter if it's good. There's never been a good children's movie before.
Yeah, Puss in Boots didn't come out literally last year.
That was a great movie.
Puss in Boots is great. Anytime it's so frustrating to hear the children's movie thing when we just got fucking Puss in Boots, which is incredible. I'm not saying like Puss in Boots is the only good children's movie ever. There are plenty of good children's movies. But Puss in Boots just came out, and it's a great children's movie. You know why? Because it's just a good movie. Like, it doesn't have that, like, it's a children's movie. You don't have to, like, explain it. You know what I mean? Good movies don't need any kind of preferencing or explaining. They're just good. But yeah, I was personally just I really wanted to like it. I really went in really excited. Scott can attest. I was very excited for this movie. But just was not a fan.
Yeah, I went with him and our Amy's, and they were all like, no, it's gonna be good. It has a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was like, I don't think it's gonna be very good. And they're like, no, you're just a hater. You don't get it, is what they told me. And then we all watched the movie, and they were like, oh, that sucked. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Day was in it. Jack Black played Jack Black.
Really, the only voice actor that was actually good in it was Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. He did a pretty good Toad. Now, I'm not saying I like the character of Toad. I'm just saying that he did a good job voicing Toad. And mostly because he was the only one that did a voice.
It's my biggest problem with animated dubs in the West. I find a lot of times it's just like people using their normal fucking voice, and I hate that.
Yeah.
The only exception is when Christian Bale is Hal and just kind of uses his voice.
But his voice works for Hal. You know, he just kind of has that moody voice. He's Batman.
He's Batman.
What's your guys' best Seth Rogen? Last God, I can't believe Seth Rogen was in that fucking movie.
I try so hard to avoid ingesting any Seth Rogen content that when when that character did that laugh, I was like, what is this? Like, I didn't even recognize it. I couldn't tell you the last Seth Rogen thing I watched. And I was like, that sucks. I hate that. What's that? And then we left the movie and I was like, what was that? And they were like, that was Seth Rogen. I was like, oh, it was? No wonder I hated that.
I was pretty upset that they only played the DK rap for about 2 seconds, and they didn't even credit my boy Grant Kirkhope in the credits. Put some respect on his name. One of the goats of video game music.
Welcome to the Bryson Scott stream. It's the stream where we shit on everything you guys like.
No, we like Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse is really good.
That's true. I was so impressed by it. I thought it would be like just like the first movie, like kind of like generic, but with incredible animation. But it was actually pretty good.
Like, I'm genuinely really excited for the third movie.
Yeah, I can't wait. 3 years from now.
It's already had the
comes out.
release dates announced. What do you mean? It's coming out next year, like March 20th.
Oh,
Its release date was announced before this movie even came out. Yeah.
Neat.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think
that's
I
good.
think it's like literally like March 20th of 2024.
I didn't know that there was even going to be another one.
I knew there was gonna be another one, yeah, but I didn't know. Yeah. The normal voice thing is
fucking with right now.
huh? Don't worry about me. You guys like the Sonic movie better? No, I fucking hated the Sonic movie. Actually, no, I'll say about this. I thought the first Sonic movie was like a solid average movie, and it was very heightened by the fact that it's like, oh my god, a video game movie that's not horrible? Holy shit, brother. The second Sonic movie I thought was fucking awful.
It was
I thought
unwatchable.
I couldn't believe that there was like the 20-minute dancing segment in the middle of the second Sonic movie. There have been very few scenes I've seen in a movie that like have shocked me to a point that I just could not believe what I was watching. The like 20-minute dance scene in a Russian bar in Sonic 2, it really changed my whole perspective on life. It really fucked with me. I could not believe it. Bad. First one was fine. Like the first one was just very fine, very inoffensive. You know, it was a good video game movie. Second one was awful. I also, though, am like a very ardent Sonic hater. So, you know, I didn't get any of the like, oh look, it's Knuckles, because I couldn't be fucked to care about a bad franchise.
Whoa!
This guy hates Sega.
Bryce hates
This guy
Sonic.
wouldn't have owned a Genesis. Wouldn't be caught dead. He's the biggest Yuji Naka hater.
Bryce, why are you such a hater?
You ever played the Sonic games? They're fucking awful. They control horribly. They feel bad to play. They're just uncomfortable.
I played one on the PlayStation 2, and the level was too hard for me. So I tried to get my mom to.
Look, that's
to
pretty
beat
funny.
it. And she was worse at it than I was, so she couldn't do it. And I think I just never played it again.
Did you ever play the Shadow the Hedgehog game?
I don't know. I don't even remember what the game I played was.
He curses in that game. Well, the Shadow the Hedgehog game was like Sega being like, we need to be edgy. And so they made a Shadow the Hedgehog game where he curses and he says things like ass and damn. And he carries guns and he shoots people. It was like the PG-13 song. I'm not joking about that. Like that's where he does literally use guns and you shoot people. Yeah, and it's really bad. It sucks. Me and Shroom, when we were kids, we used to play it a lot. We used to play the multiplayer in it a lot. Just because like we just needed shit to play. And so we'd play like that, like Ratchet Deadlocked, which Ratchet Deadlock slaps, especially the multiplayer. And like MLB 2003 Slugfest. We would just sit in my room and like play those 3 games like crazy. But yeah, was not a fan of the Sonic movie. Although I will say, like I said, I thought the first one was fine. Well, the first one was, you know what? One of my biggest problems with the Sonic movie is, what's the James Marsden? Was that the actor? The guy that plays like the normal guy? I hate him so much. Not as a human being. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's just the most piece of paper generic actor you have ever seen. He is like an AI generated actor.
I remember in the first film, like he sucked, but he was kind of like inoffensive, out of the way. Anything where the humans were on screen in the second movie is just like the worst cinema that has ever been created. I mean, it's like after school special level acting.
Yeah, that's one of my big problems with the Sonic movies too, is that like I just hate how much of it is spent on these boring bullshit human characters. Why do I give a fuck about boring bullshit sheriff guy from nothing town, and he's gonna leave town and he's gonna become a big sheriff at a different town, but no, this is your home, boring sheriff guy, you have to stay here, and that's the lesson of the movie. Why do I care about that?
It was like a bad episode of the Andy Griffith Show every time he was on
who
screen.
is he? Why do I give a shit about him and his wife? And like, there's like the sister that hates him and like thinks he's abusive. And there's a wedding in like the second movie. And like, none of it makes sense. And it's really stupid. And I really hate every second that Sonic isn't on screen in those movies. If the movies were just Sonic, like fuck around doing his thing, honestly, I might like it more. Because my biggest complaints are mostly just the fucking... I will say, I really just hate Sonic's character in the movies. I will say that. I hate, like, he's like a stupid shithead little kid. And, like, they really drive it home with the fucking goddamn stupid cop guy. They're like, oh, he's like your son and you gotta take care of him. And Sonic is a bad child.
I will say, I remember that now. That was the other thing in the second movie, is that they literally make Sonic, like, a toddler.
Yeah, and he's like...
It's very annoying.
He's kind of obnoxious in the first movie, and it's okay. But in the second movie, he is literally a little kid. That is the whole plot of the movie, is that he
they have to get him, like, a babysitter, like, to leave him home alone. Like, it's, like, super weird.
Yo, Natasha Nanook, thank you for the raid. Sorry I didn't see that. I was too busy bitching about James Marsden in the Sonic movie.
Yeah, thank you.
But thank you for the raid.
Nice.
Joined in the middle of a big rant.
So we were just talking about the Sonic and Mario movies.
Uh-huh.
That was it. You know what was a good movie? John Wick 4.
John Wick 4. Yeah, you have talked about this movie more than anything, honestly. I feel like that has to be your movie of the year.
It's not, but...
It's had more staying power than any other movie has for you.
I don't know what my movie of the year would be, actually, so far.
It might be Spider-Verse for me, unless I'm just blatantly forgetting something.
It might be Spider-Verse.
Like I said, unless I'm just blatantly forgetting.
You're blundering.
Unless I'm blundering.
See, in chess...
What are you working on?
This. It's Lucia as a baseball player.
Baseball Sia.
That's baseball Sia.
Ball Sia. Ball glands.
Ball glands.
Maybe Beau is afraid. Yeah, we didn't see Beau is afraid. Wanted to, but we didn't. when Lucy has different Halloween monsters, you did that, didn't you? Like a year or two ago, you did for Halloween. Like each week, you did her as like. Am I crazy? You did her as Freddy Krueger, right? You did her as.
I think I did like one post sheet where she was like Freddy Krueger, Pikachu.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I'll find it. I think this was 2021. So I have to go to my alternate drive.
When is there going to be a Lucia soccer? That's true.
I had to have done that, right?
I don't think you did. You done Lucia volleyball. Just don't do Werewolf Lucia. I have a really nice idea for that and want to do it myself.
Yeah, here's my
Werewolf Cia.
Lucia. Just
Yeah.
like Freddy Krueger, the Devil, Pikachu, and
boobs.
Ariana Grande. I think is where I got this outfit from.
Well, the problem is I actually remember last year, you were gonna do Halloween stuff, but you do all your work so far in advance that like you had all your posts planned for October and you weren't even thinking about the fact that it would be Halloween.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I forgot.
Because you're typically like 2 or 3 months ahead for all your Twitter posts. Yeah, I'm trying to think if you've ever done any other Lucias. You should do like a headless horseman. Yeah, you did do a you did do a Halloween lewd that I remember where it's like Lucia getting a facial but with like Jolly Ranchers being thrown at her.
I do remember
that is
yes.
one of it, and she's like, "Oh, it's so much candy." And it's like candy being thrown in her mouth. That's pretty funny. That's definitely one of the highest tier posts we've ever done. I just got a notification from AP News. Soccer great Lionel Messi is coming to America. The World Cup winner has chosen Inter Miami of the MLS over a team from Saudi Arabia. Is that true? Can we finally tout the MLS as the best league?
Yo, we did it. We won.
First David Beckham, now Messi. I mean, it's big shoes for Messi to fill. But because we all know bend it like Beckham. That's crazy.
Bend it like Beckham.
Would people would soccer fans, because Scott and I aren't soccer fans at all, so Cap, I know you're a soccer fan, and I'm sure other people in the chat are. Would people give a shit about the MLS just because Messi is there? Or would they still just not care about the MLS because of like the competition? Like I don't know anything about soccer, so I just know people don't give a shit about the MLS.
I imagine more people in America will probably care about it.
Almost certainly, yeah. But I'm talking about people that are like active soccer fans, like from around the world, like people that watch like the Premier League and stuff like that.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Well, it doesn't sound like I'm asking you, does it? I'm asking people that watch soccer. Actually, people don't care that much of MLS, but now that Messi's going to be there, more people will see the league because of him. Yeah, that's what I was curious about. Like, I wonder if there are actually people watching MLS. Those poor MLS players, though, I will say. You're just trying to have
like old now, though.
I don't know. He could be retired and he'll still be like. People ask me who the best soccer player is, and I'll still just say Messi because I don't know. That's what.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, but isn't he old too?
I don't know. He's in Saudi Arabia.
Unlike Messi.
Good for Messi.
Oh God. My computer just yelled at me. So if you were to give Lucy a tattoo, you said you'd go really all out with it. Would you have a theme with it? Would they be like all crab tattoos? Crab tattoos?
I don't know. It depends on if I actually designed it custom. I might just use a tattoo that I found online for inspiration.
Wow.
I know. Using reference. Fake artist.
Ronaldo was 38, Messi's 35. God damn.
I remember when they were just young boys.
You want to know something sad, Scott? So when you and I, we had like 1 or 2 years where we were really into soccer, but only playing FIFA. Like we actually weren't into soccer.
Yes.
The FIFA we were really into was FIFA 14.
14, yeah.
That was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Sure is.
We're old.
Sure are.
Times have changed. We're no longer the things we care about now. We never would have thought we cared about before.
She's kind of like an Oriole in this picture.
Oh, my dad said he's gonna call me after work, but the problem is I'm gonna be busy after work. Ooh. I'm gonna have to.
I'll ask
message
my dad
father.
if he can call me.
Yeah. Messi's beard really ages him up. That is true. That is, I have seen him with that beard. What does it say on the bat? Or did you just write like random scribbles?
It's a Barry Bonds autograph.
I see.
Why? I don't know. I really don't. Sometimes I just do things and I don't even think about them.
You could have made it any player. You chose to make it Barry Bonds.
You know, one time Barry Bonds had a season
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, one
And
time.
there's no asterisks around it at all.
Yeah, that time he hit 73 home runs. Nobody cares about it. Does Lucia use performance enhancing drugs? No, she's a Barry Bonds fan.
Yeah, she would never. Just like Barry Bonds, she has just a well-balanced diet.
She
Eating her veggies.
When she goes from the Pirates to the Giants, she won't yolk up like crazy. She'll look the exact same. And if she does, it's all because she just works out hard. I just got spammed by Twitch DM. I didn't know that existed. How can I know if it was from this stream? I have no idea. I don't know.
I've
never encountered a person that uses Twitch DMs.
Should we plug Kindred Heavens again?
Kindred Heavens.
Okay, good. Got it in one.
I typed the thing. You know, our book. Our book,
Okay.
Kindred Heavens, is going to be launching on June 21st. We would appreciate if everyone would buy. There's a tier where you can buy 4 books. We would appreciate if everyone buys the 4-book tier, even if you don't need it. That's not true.
Give
You
us
can buy whatever you want.
money. We would appreciate it if right now you went and you signed up to get notifications about the campaign.
But that is true.
That would be tight.
That way, when you go live, you can give us money. And we'd really appreciate it. Actually, the reason that's so important to give you an insider scoop is that how well your campaign does, like how many backers it gets in the earliest stages of it, are what determines if Kickstarter gives you the project we love. little tag, and if you get that little tag, it means the algorithm boosts your Kickstarter. So it would be very helpful if people that plan to buy, like, if you're there like as quick as you can be. That's why we push that so much. It's not just to be like cringy and be like, hey, subscribe to us, blah blah. There is an actual purpose behind it.
Yeah, we wouldn't do anything if it was cringy. But yeah, no, we appreciate it. But we also appreciate if you're able to buy it at all. We
oh yeah. I was just
everything.
giving a reason of why we keep saying the bookmark thing specifically.
Yeah, if you plan on buying the book and you're able, it would be more helpful to us if you did it on the first day. That's all. Don't let us down, guys.
Guy shows up from a fishing DM and the boys take a chance to plug. I appreciate the hustle. We're always plugging. Also, speaking of things you can buy from us, did you know you can buy our book, The Panty Bear, at brysonscott.store? There's still plenty of copies left. So, just do that.
Just do that. Damn, I'm hungry.
I'm also really hungry.
What are we gonna do about this?
How many is plenty?
Plenty what?
Plenty books? I think we have plenty left. Like...
few hundred?
Yeah, a few hundred. Some hundreds.
Some hundreds. Enough. You'll get it if you want.
And if we ever run out, we'll just buy some hundreds more.
We had to buy that extra for when we do those conventions eventually, maybe.
That is true. Once we have Kindred Heavens books in hands, conventions become a lot more. We won't buy a table to a convention that we can't go to and then just like waste like $600, like we've done maybe once.
Maybe
not. Are they colored? No, the Panty Bear is in black and white.
Kindred Heavens is in color though.
Kindred Heavens is in color and is 100 pages. Panty Bear is not in color and is 200 pages. It's equivalent exchange.
Yeah, that's your trade-off. You either get a color book or
you get 100 extra pages.
Yeah. You can't get both. Don't even try.
Well, you can buy both books.
I'm in the same.
They're both out. Like we will allow that. In fact, we'd encourage it.
Well.
And then in August, we'd encourage you all to be excited about August things.
We'd encourage you to get your wallets ready.
Because we just be dropping shit.
Call us Butterfingers.
Would you ever make a Lucia coloring yourself adult coloring book? No. Well, I'll never say no, but probably not.
It depends. How much would you pay for one?
I was gonna say it depends on what we think the market would be. Really, we'll do anything for money. Especially with Lucia, we'll throw her out to the wolves if we have to. $15? How many people would pay $15 for a Lucia adult coloring book? If a lot of people said yes, then maybe.
Yeah, do a poll.
That face is really funny to me. It's kind of like Froggy. It's got like a frog-like quality to it. We should do more weird merch things though, like an adult coloring book.
Why did I make her shorts white?
We should do a Lucia hacky sack.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I remember I had a period of my life where I made hacky sacks, like not to sell or anything,
just to have.
Just to have. And,
how did
like,
you
play
make
with.
them?
Well, I would get some rice, and then I would cut up a T-shirt for cloth, and then I would take the rice, put it in the T-shirt, and I would use dental floss to sew and put it all together.
So
this
you
is
were
all
a
true.
little
I'm not
engineer.
making. Yeah, like I'm not making any of this up. This is true, and I don't know. I just did that for a little bit because I guess I liked hacky sack.
Lucia Tech Decks. I'm just trying to think of other things we could do.
Do people still tech deck?
Yeah, some people be really into Tech Deck. I don't know how many people, but I know some people be really into Tech Deck. Dude, Lucia Heelys.
Yeah.
There we go. Does anyone remember when Heelys were the shit? Bro, I remember I got a pair of Heelys and I was so excited and I fell and scraped my knee the first time I ever used them. Heelys were too extreme for me. So I didn't heel, I just walked. I was the kid with Heelys that never healed.
I remember getting Heelys, and the thing I remember most about them is that they were heavy. Because they had the
yeah, like they had like the insert that you had to take out to put the wheel in.
Yeah, and like, well, no, some of them the wheel would be in the shoe. Like I remember I had a Heely where the wheel was just in the shoe and it like popped out when you wanted to use it. And yeah, I just remember it was super heavy and like cumbersome to use, or just like to walk around in. I don't even think I ever skated in it because I don't think I knew how to skate. And that was my experience with Heelys.
They were definitely a pretty dumb novelty thing of the time. Lucia elude standees? No, we're trying to think of bad ideas. Like ideas.
That's too good of an idea.
Like that's an idea that might work. I'm trying to think of like Lucia fishing pole. Would anyone buy a Lucia fishing pole?
No? Great.
Would anyone buy Lucia live bait, like a worm? But it's like it's been painted to look like Lucia.
I think the logistics of that one might be a little different.
Well, we have a guy that he actually paints the worms in front of you.
What is wrong with you?
That's a good idea. I like that idea. Lucia lotion. Lucia licorice? Lucia with L things.
Lucia legume.
What?
You know, like legumes.
I'd unironically buy a Lucia elude standee. Yeah, it's the problem. That's why I said it's a good idea. Like, I think people would actually want that. But I'm trying to think of things that are stupid, like a Lucia Tech Deck. Lucia real size human cardboard cutout. Now that's kind of dumb. Like a human size cardboard cutout. Lucia lunchbox. Yeah, could you imagine a kid going to school with a Lucia lunchbox?
Maybe it's an adult. Why are you assuming it's a kid?
I don't know.
Adults can use lunchboxes too.
Well, I would assume adults are fiscally responsible, and so they just use paper bags. I don't know. I've never had to take a lunchbox anywhere in my adult life. I had a lunchbox in middle school, and a kid wrote slurs on it, and so I never took a lunchbox again. Because I didn't want kids writing slurs on my lunchbox.
What a dumb little story.
Yeah, I left it in art class one time. And actually, it's a really me story because I left it in art class and I went to my next class and I realized I'd forgotten it. And so I raised my hand and I asked the teacher and she thought I said like, can I go to the bathroom? And she just said, no. I guess like she preluded the no, like she didn't listen to me. And so I just like put my hand down and I like accepted my fate. I was like, well, there's just no way I can explain this. And the girl next to me was like, teacher, you fucking idiot. He didn't ask that. And then she let me go. And then, like, I remember I walked into art class, and there was this shithead little kid who was like, "You want your lunchbox back, kid?" Like, and he like snickered, and he like handed it to me. And then there were slurs written on it, so I threw it away. And then my dad was like, "I'll buy you another one, but you can't let kids write slurs on it." And I was like, "No, Dad." And I never ate lunch in school again. I never even ate school lunch again. I literally just never ate lunch in school again after. I was in 6th grade. And so I just never ate lunch in school.
What a dumb little story that is.
Her little eyes, like the little gray part of her eyes, little dots, it looks like goofy little guys are like in her eyes. It looks like she has some little dudes in her eyes poking their heads out. They're just silly little guys. Yeah.
They're mad.
Leave that in the final draw. Now it looks like they're ghosts peering out at your soul. Leafy Toby said bullying. Yeah, but I got a funny story out of it, so I guess it was worth it.
We stand any story where Bryce is getting bullied.
Yeah, yeah, that was a I feel like I've probably told that on stream before.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
Really?
So, yeah. I think that's new Bryce lore that just dropped.
I also got yelled at one time for throwing my lunch away by a teacher. I had a teacher pull the starving kids in Africa argument on me one time because I threw my lunch away because I wasn't feeling very good. Like, I was like sick, and so I didn't eat all my lunch. And she like yelled at me in the middle of the cafeteria. Yes, I did cry.
How old were you?
It was 6th grade. 6th grade was a rough year for me. There were a lot of adjustments. I cried a lot in 6th grade. The worst part was, you know, the girl that I have the funny story with about me sending the picture of the conversation. This girl apparently pops up a lot in my life. Every time I tell a story, I feel like it's her. She came to me later that day, and she was like, why were you crying in the cafeteria? And I was like, I wasn't crying. And I legitimately was like, I just had something in my eye. Like, I legitimately said that to her.
Oh, Bryce.
Yeah, I cried the first day of middle school because I couldn't get my locker open. Because my sister sat and showed me how to open a combination lock, and I was like, I can do this. And so the first day of middle school, I was able to get it open in the morning, and I put my stuff in, and then I couldn't get it open when we left school. And so I freaked out. I was like, my stuff is locked in here forever. It'll never come out. I'm cursed. I can't get my backpack. I'm stuck. And then a kid helped me, and he was like, why are you crying, you fucking idiot? And I was like, thank you. And
Why do you cry so much?
I don't really cry so much anymore, but I cried a lot as a kid. I don't know.
Why are you a little baby?
I don't know. I'm quick to cry. I'm still kind of quick to cry today. Like, if something goes wrong, I'm not. I can cry pretty quick. I don't know. I'm emotional. I'm an emotional guy.
Break out some tears.
Here, I'll bring a lunchbox over and I'll let you write on it. I'll start crying and I'll go tell my dad.
My favorite thing was when you moved here. Your dad was here, is like emotionally saying goodbye. And he like pulls me to the side and he's like, I want you to take care of my boy. He doesn't have as much experience as you. And I was like, okay. Like he was like handing him off to me. He's like, here, this is your problem now.
Well, my dad was really concerned I was gonna be dead like a month or two, I think. Because like me being on my own, I guess when I lived in Aberdeen, was like, that was okay because I wasn't like, I wasn't in like a different state. I guess here, I don't know what he thought I was gonna do, but I guess he thought I was gonna be dead in a few weeks. My dad's also just real paranoid like that. Like he's just one of the. He's just like he's very parent mode.
He's a good guy.
He's always like, you know, doing the whole like be safe, don't do this. I tell him I like had a drink of alcohol. He's like, don't be like, don't drink too much.
I worry about that too.
Yeah, but that's just kind of how he is about everything. At this point, I'm pretty null to it. Sounds like he'd assume you end up in the bad crowd, get addicted to drugs, and end up in jail. That's kind of how my dad has. My dad has always, like, not in like a mean way, but he's always kind of had this thing where I feel like I feel like he is afraid I'm always one step away from like falling off the wagon. like I don't know how to describe it. Like not like mean. He's never like rude about it, but he's always given me this impression that like I could like he's just really afraid that I'm just gonna like spiral into something bad one day. I love that guy.
And that's why he tasked me with protecting you. Apparently.
My dad also really likes you, so.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty cool.
He calls you good kid every time he talks about you. He goes, he's a good kid. That Mal, he's a good boy.
I've never had a papa that was proud of me before.
Bye, feline.
Bye, feline.
It was also pretty funny when my parents like dropped me off when when I moved, when they helped me move here. They like my dad had this big like emotional goodbye. He was crying. He was talking to Scott. My mom was like, "We gotta go. We gotta go. We can't get stuff in traffic. We gotta go. We gotta get out of here." I like kept trying to talk to them. She'd be like, bye. She said bye to me like 10 times, like trying to expedite the process. And then at one point she pulled me to the side and she's like, "We're leaving. Say goodbye." And then my dad was like, and she was like, "No, we're leaving."
Yeah, she wanted to get home. It was pretty funny.
And
well,
now,
I did it. I
now
did
you
this
finished
drawing.
the drawing.
It was mostly on stream.
The moon thoughts.
Like 90% of it was on stream. And I take some pride in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to do all of it on stream, but that didn't happen.
But you're a cringe little baby.
All I did before stream, and I did it while we were setting up, was this pose, I'm pretty sure. And then the rest of them were sketched out and inked and colored.
Wow, he drew before stream, cheater.
So I got that going for me.
Which is nice.
Which is nice.
Okay, well, are we wrapping up?
Yeah. No time for chess today.
We appreciate you all being here, and I'm definitely not stalling while Scott finds someone to raid.
Oh god, they changed everything. I don't know how to find someone to raid anymore.
We'll be back. What is wrong with you? Why do you have so many problems?
Oh, I just don't know how to do it.
It's the same. Nothing is different. Literally nothing is.
It is all different. What do you mean?
Oh, not for me. None of it's different for me. Do you want me to find someone to raid?
No, I'll do it.
Okay, well, do it better. Do it well.
Okay, raid has been created. Thanks for coming, everybody, to the stream.
Bye.
I realized I forgot.